Hello everybody and welcome back to Let's Play New Super Mario Bros. DS. In the last episode we made it all the way through world number 5 and without meaning to, in this episode we are going, well, I meant to go in here this episode, but I just wanted to do like my little talk thing before going into the castle, which I didn't get to do, so now I'm a little bit annoyed, but that's mostly because of my controller. I really do need to get a new controller, but I've talked about this before. I want to get a proper webcam first, because your face cam you're watching right now, my face cam, not yours. You don't have a face cam. You might have a face cam. You might have like a YouTube channel or a Twitch channel and have a face cam on that, but I don't really care about that right now, because this is a video I made. So, I'm important, apparently. The face cam you're watching right now, I've talked about this like plenty of times, but it's like a externally recorded camera, and I have to sync things up, and over time it desyncs because complicated reasonings. And if I just have a face cam, I can, or webcam as my face cam, I can just like put that into my recording software, and I don't have to sync anything up, and it'll be a lot better. And you might be thinking, but your quality will go down. Realistically, it won't really, though. I mean, it will a little bit. There will be a little bit less detail in like high contrast areas with a webcam compared to the camera I'm using right now. But really, the most important thing for getting like a good-looking picture is light. Is this the end? This is literally the end of this level. I could have done that last episode. For instance, if I look at this dry bones dude, he's going to murder me. If I turn on this light right now, before facing the boss fight, yeah, that doesn't look very good now, does it? So, yeah, the light, and I am aware that there's like exposure going on there as well, which this camera obviously is not on auto exposure. But yeah, so having that light there is definitely more important than having an expensive camera there. And I prefer not to have this camera like set up at all times and having to, again, sync up all the footage and stuff. It's just annoying. So I prefer to not have to do that like at all, if at all possible. So I need to get a webcam, which is like 30 bucks. But I also need to get a controller, which is also like 30 to 50 bucks. And then I also need to like pay bills, which is like a lot more than 30 to 50 bucks. So it's going to be a while, but I'll get a new controller sooner or later. I think you can actually hook up a PlayStation 4 controller as well, right, to a PC. So I might actually use one of my PS4 controllers if I need to. I'm pretty sure you can. I think you couldn't do that with PlayStation 3 controllers. You could, but not easily, not like natively supported. I think with PlayStation 4 controllers it's like just natively supported, I think. But again, I am not entirely sure. I guess I'll have to find out. As of right now though, I'm just going to complete this series with this controller, and I'm probably just going to choose my next series to be something that I don't need a controller for necessarily, but will work with mouse and keyboard. And Pokemon through the years won't need any like 4-button controllers anytime soon, because obviously we have Gen 2 and Gen 3 to get through before we get to the Sinnoh games, and that was a waste of my time. Before we get to the Sinnoh games, which are the first on the DS which actually like require, not even require 4 buttons. The DS has 4 buttons, but Pokemon Diamond, Pearl, Platinum don't even require you to use all 4 buttons really, especially if you like map them on your controller. You really only need 3. You need A, B and X. I don't even think Y really does anything. It's for your selected items, isn't it? There's just a quality of life thing. You don't like desperately absolutely need that. That's just a nice thing to have. So even for that, I don't need a different controller. But for instance, a game I was thinking about playing, like a 3D platformer maybe, like Sonic Generations, which is a 2D or a 3D platformer, it's both. It's probably not going to happen as the next game, unless PlayStation 4 controller actually does work on PC for that game without too much issue, which in that case, I might do Sonic Generations next, because that is probably even a shorter game than this, believe it or not. I think I underestimated how how long this game could be. Still, it's not a very long game, but I thought it was going to be a bit shorter than it actually is turning out to be, which isn't a bad thing, that's alright, but it's just like a miscalculation on my part. And then... fuck. Now I have to just like hang around here and wait. And Sonic Generations is probably going to be like 5 episodes at most. Actually, no, if they are 15-minute episodes, it might be long. That might be why this series is ending up to be so long. Because I did my estimates based on like 20 to 30-minute episodes. Because that's kind of what I'm used to doing for guesswork. And I've been thinking about like the direction of the channel and in like... if I get a mini mushroom here, I'm going back to... I didn't get a mini mushroom. I got something that is way more fun. But it's getting wasted underwater. So, fuck that. Yep, that got wasted. So, yeah, I've been thinking a little bit about like live streaming and Let's Plays and which series, which games fit which ones, and I'm going to deal with live streaming and stuff, and so much is depending on so many things that I'm not going to like go too deep into detail about that, but long story short, I'm thinking about maybe moving more of the Let's Play stuff over to doing a little bit more live streaming when I get the opportunity to. Reworking my schedule so that I create a little bit more opportunity to do live streaming, not daily, but like 2 or 3 times a week rather than 1 or 2 times a week to begin with. Do like 2 or 3 hour live streams instead of Let's Plays, and then the video content. Still want to have it like daily or near daily video content, but like different kinds of videos, like the Spotlight videos you've been seeing lately. Those kind of videos. It was a fairly easy and quick to produce, and like pulling back the veil here a little bit, those have a higher chance of like generating new traffic to the channel than a Let's Play does, because Let's Plays usually, I mean, sometimes somebody will find you through a Let's Play, but usually that doesn't really generate much in the way of like new content, especially or new viewership, especially like in 2020, when it's not as novel of a concept anymore and everybody and their fucking mom is doing it, me included. So that's what I've been thinking about, because I do like just sitting down and rambling and just hanging out and playing a game and dying. So if I were to like do that, I'd still do that on a Let's Play format, but I do want to think about like moving a little bit more to the spotlight and first impressions, and maybe a little bit of reviews as well. And I'm going to guess that also does free up a little bit of time for me to maybe work on a little bit of edited content, which would be which would be fun, right? A little bit of edited content, maybe doing like a retrospective here or there, or like a review of a game when a big game releases, that kind of stuff. And then I can do Let's Play of it live and then make a review video from the footage I live streamed, which is killing 2 birds with 1 stone, or getting 2 birds stoned at once, as I like to say. So that's the kind of thing I've been thinking about over the past couple of weeks, which by the time this goes up, that'll have been like over the past month, and I'll probably have, this is probably actually a mushroom up here, but it's going to be fairly difficult to get, but I think it's going to help me quite a lot, so let me give it a shot. Thank you. So by the time this video goes up, I might have like made up my mind as to what I'm going to do with that. I might not have. This is definitely not something that I'm going to rush into a decision with, but it's been something that I have been thinking about quite a lot, as I said, and I would dare say that the rationale is there, and it's a pretty good one. So I'd love to hear your like inputs and opinion on it. I'll probably ask the people on my Discord. Again, you can join my Discord, link is always down below in the description, and this is a very scary place to be at, damn it! And it is also, gonna be honest with you, I'm doing this for fun. This is just like a hobby. I like doing this. Mostly like my decisions are going to be informed by what I like doing. Also what fits in my schedule, but I would be lying if I said the numbers don't entirely influence decisions, because, and this is going to sound a little bit like dickish to some people maybe, but I think if it sounds dickish, you don't really get the point. But things do become more fun when you are successful at something, right? So when I put in some work and make daily videos, and that gets me like 10 views a video, that's fine. I don't mind that at all. But if I put in the same amount of work, or even like less work, or if I just do something differently and that gets me over a longer period of time, gets me like 100 views per video, that does factor in. It's not the only thing that my decisions are going to be based on, but that does factor in, because that is a certain amount of like satisfaction, which makes creating the content more fun, because I'll know a lot of more people are going to watch it and hopefully enjoy it. And that's mostly like that is that's a big part of it. It's not everything there is to it, but it definitely is a significant part of a decision there. Is this a mini castle or a big castle? I forgot. This is a mini castle. Okay. Oh, it even shows you on the bottom map whether it's a mini or a big castle. So as you can see, the mini bosses, I haven't been really talking about the game that much. But yeah, the mini bosses are all the same, but the platform has gates. The last world had a slippery floor. This one tilts. It's not that big of a deal. Let's see. Oh, there's 2 mini castles in this world. Huh. What do you know? It's a bit of a longer world. Let's do one more level here, and then we'll end up the episode and go into the next episode for the second half of this world. What does this even do? It gets you just a normal question mark block, but with but with spikes. Again, I'm going to try not to give a shit about the star coins, because I've got like 50 of them. I'm never going to use them all. Yeah, again, bottom screen, can't really do much about that. I, in theory, maybe could, but I'm not going to, because it would take like a lot of editing work, which I don't feel like doing, because it's tedious editing work for like a little bit of time in the full video, which nobody's going to actually give a shit about. And if you do, I'm very sorry. The way I record these videos, it's really tedious to do any like visual edits on them. It's not even like tedious to do, it's just like it wouldn't look good. And if I were to like make it, record it in such a way that it would look better, every episode would have a little bit more editing work. Not significantly more editing work, I'm gonna be honest with you, but at least like a little bit more editing work for like a total of 5 minutes of screen time, looking a little bit more pleasing throughout the entire Let's Play. That is just something I am not going to be doing. I am all about like making things look a little bit more fun and putting in a little bit more work to make things look fun. But there needs to be a balance, right? I'm not going to put in like 2 or 3 hours, well, not 2 or 3 hours, like an hour to an hour and a half over the entire like editing of the entire series, more than I am right now, for like 5 minutes of a screen looking a little bit better, while the way it looks now, it kind of looks fine. So next episode we are going to do the second half of this world, which seems to be like 5 more levels, and then we're going to go back to world 5 hopefully, and try to get into world number 7, which is going to be interesting. Until then, I'm Vlogger, you've been awesome as always. Bye.